Disintegration FX is the newest member joining our Procedural Templates pack collection, and it is the first to implement the latest addition to Blender, simulation nodes. Using the provided templates, you will be able to disintegrate animated 3D characters without any knowledge of geometry nodes. And they are much more than a generic effect. From having flexible control over the disintegration area to quickly changing the simulation look, this pack allows you to have full control of your effect. And it can also use your subject material to influence the particles. Disintegration FX is the only gauntlet you need to snap things out of existence. Here's a quick example to cover all the basics. To install the assets pack, go to Preferences and under File Paths, you will find an option to add new asset libraries. You can put the purchase pack in one of your existing libraries or create a new one from here. Locate the assets pack folder. You can call it whatever you like. Then you can make a new window like this. Change it to Assets Browser and choose that assets library. To make a disintegrating character, you need two main things: a guide mesh or the animated mesh, and a still mesh or the static mesh. Here in this example, I have this character with a simple animation. I select its mesh and I rename it. This will be our guide character mesh. Then I duplicate that mesh and call this one still. To make this a static mesh, I go to the first frame of the animation and apply the armature modifier. This way I have an animated mesh and a static mesh. Remember, once you make the two meshes, do not add something like subdivision surface modifier to one of them. There should not be any geometric difference between these two meshes other than one having an animation while the other doesn't. Let's take a look at one of the effects. I drag and drop Vanishing Mesh asset into the scene. It adds an object to the scene with a Vanishing Mesh geometry node modifier. It asking us for a few inputs. First, guide mesh. So let's pick that one from here. We can actually hide these objects from both the viewport and the render. Then it asks us for a controller object. For that, I add an empty sphere and animates its location and scale like this. Everything inside this empty sphere will be our disintegrating area. I call it controller. You can have more than one controller if you want, but for now I just stick with this one. And now when I scrub the timeline, you can see it's deleting our geometry. But you can see, although we are inside the material preview mode, we are not seeing our character material. And this Vanishing Mesh modifier has this material assigned by default. If I go inside that material, you can see it has this simple setup. These maroon color nodes are attributes generated from the simulation. You can use these to further develop your own materials. But for now, let me show you this blurred mask. This blurred mask helps you to make the edge of the Vanishing Mesh different from the rest. Here I am making it red. To use our previous character material, I go to that material and copy its node setup and paste it inside here. Then plug the color texture to here and join the mask with the alpha texture using a multiply node. And just like that, we have a vanishing 3D character. Let's add another setup to the scene. The particle dust effect here is a combination of dust only and particles only setup. Rather than running two simulations, you can use this setup to do both of them at once. You can use those individual effects if you want just the dust or the particles. Drag particle dust to the setup. Here I set its location to 0, 0, 0. It's not important, but it will help you to visualize things better. This assets brought not just the effect but also another empty called direction. As the name suggests, it will help you to change the direction of the particle's movement. But before that, I select the direction object and its object constraints. You will see this drag to constraint. For this, I select our effect. Then in our effects modifier, I select our still mesh, guide mesh and the controller. And now when I play the animation, you will see we have particles and dust coming from the mesh. If your dust is hard to see, you can improve the volumetric settings in Eevee and also increase the volume density from the modifier. You can play with these modifier settings to change the effect. What about the materials? Well, you will have two materials for this setup. One for the volume dust, where you can change the color and density. And the other is for particles. Just like before, you can copy paste the material setup from the previous material to this disintegrating particles material. Here the attribute we have is called particle UVs, and all you have to do is plug its vector output into all of these textures vector inputs. This will give the particles access to these textures. Then go to either your still mesh or the guide mesh and see what is the name of the UV map of your character. Copy that name and paste it here in the modifier. And now when I play, you can see the particles grabbing the color from the textures. Once you're happy with your effect, go to Physics tab and bake the simulation. Do this for all the used effects. And that's it. That's the basic introduction to making disintegrating effects with Blender 3.6 using the latest procedural template pack, Disintegration FX. You can check the documentation for more info regarding the effects pack. And feel free to contact us for any further questions.